Welcome back to Cosmeholics Anonymous. I am your favorite baby mama, Bo Vintage, and today's video is a story time. This is the story time about when I was on a reality show in Canada, and I kind of wanted to do this because I recently started watching The Bachelorette, and once you know how reality TV actually works and how like production steps in and stuff, when you're watching a show, it almost ruins it for you. And because I watch Love and Hip Hop and stuff, like every single show that I've watched is pretty much ruined because I know how it works behind the scenes. So even though it's reality, there is certain aspects of it that aren't necessarily real. And so I'm gonna tell you guys my experience and give you guys the lowdown. I'll probably get sued for this, but whatever, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys the lowdown on what happened. So basically in 2013, one of my friends, Alexis, had actually reached out to me, and she was like, how much music, so that's like one of our music stations in Canada on the television. It's like a station, failing child, no shade, no tea. Or it used to be our main music station. Now they just play Degrassi and stuff. I don't know. She basically reached out to me and told me that they're having like a contest for Much VJ Search, or they're having a contest for a new Much VJ. And so basically a VJ is a video jockey, so the person that would host the show. When she told me about it, I was kind of skeptical, but then I decided, you know what, I looked at what was going on, I did a little bit of research, and then I decided I was gonna do it. The instructions were to like submit a 5-minute, I believe, or 3 minutes? A 5-minute max tape on why you should be selected, and I did that, and I was successful in doing that. And so I was super duper excited because it was like I wasn't really doing anything with my life at that point. I felt like Much Music was missing a black girl, you know. They didn't have Sarah anymore. I don't remember her last name, but they didn't have their black girl anymore, and the channel needed some life, honey. And you know I give you life, chat. So I would have been the perfect person for the job, and so I applied. This is basically a job, like the weirdest job interview ever. That's basically what you are auditioning for. So I apply, and then I go on the website and I start watching other people's videos, and I'm like, my video blows these people out the water. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna get on the show. I'm not gonna lie, that's how I was feeling, right? So I'm watching everybody's videos, and I'm like, if they don't pick me, like something's wrong, you know? And so finally, after a couple weeks, I get contacted, and I think what they told me was that a camera crew will be coming to my house to film. And child, at the time I lived in this horrible, remember the worst landlord ever? That's where I was living at the time that this was unfolding, okay? So I was living in the crappiest little shack ever, okay? Like, I was embarrassed to have them come to my house with a camera crew, but they had to come because there was nowhere else to go. Like, where was I supposed to go film? Like, no. They come to my house, and at this point I'm in top 40 out of, I don't even know, over 600 contestants had applied to the show, and I was in top 40, and I didn't know I was in top 40. So they came to my house and they filmed, and I am just thinking, I don't know why I was in top 100. Like I had no idea. And so before they left, they're like, you know what this means, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, no, I don't know what this means. They're like, you're in the top 40. And I was like flabbergasted. I was like, whoa, like out of all those people, I made it to the first cut. Like, I made the first cut. So now I'm getting super excited, and I'm like, this is getting real. Shortly after that, I believe I had gone to Much headquarters for like a in-person interview. They wanted to interview me, and that day they were like, okay, you're going on stage. And I was like, what? Like, I'm not ready to go on stage. And so, but I was looking mad cute over there, but I was camera ready always, okay? That's the one thing I did not play with, boo. I was always camera ready, okay? The day I went down for my interview, I actually bumped into Kevy, and from the time me and Kevy met, we hit it off. Like, that is my best friend. Like, I love him so much. I had actually watched his video on the website when all the audition tapes were in, And as soon as I watched that video, I was like, I need to meet this person. Like, he is hilarious. Out of everybody's video, there was only 2 people that I really, really loved, and both of them end up being my friends in real life because their videos were just like, I don't know, like they were just so funny. So I was just like, I love Kevin and I love Myron, and so those are the 2 people that I ended up clinging to. So anyway, I met Kevin for the first time. Like, we were both walking down the same street. It was right outside the Much Music building. We bumped into each other. I was like, oh my gosh, and he's like, oh my gosh, and like we were both obsessed with each other off bat. Okay, like I said, so they were interviewing me in person and they were just asking me questions, and I was telling them my feelings and all that, and then they're like, well, if you're not going anywhere, if you're not doing anything else, we'd love to put you on stage now for them to, like, you know, show, like, you know. And so they basically threw me on stage, and that was my first TV appearance. And at that point, they were narrowing the top 40 down to top 20. So they were showing everybody every day on Much Music Live. I can't remember what the show was called. They would show the contestants' tapes and the people that made it into top 40. And so because I was there, I got to go on stage. There was like a couple of us that were there that day and got to go on stage. A little bit of time is going by, and I'm waiting to hear back from them to see what the next step is. And they call me again, and they're like, okay, you're in top 20. This is what's gonna happen at this point. And so I'm like, what? And so at this point, we're still all in the dark. We don't know exactly how it's gonna work. We know it's gonna be a reality show, but we don't know the details, the specs. From the previous seasons or the previous times that they did this, the reality show was actually a reality show where the contestants lived in a house. It was much like The Real World, but like low budget, okay? That's what we were expecting. But then what they did was posted a picture of an RV on the Much Music Instagram, and they basically said that will be our home for the next however many days, honey. I said, what? We living in an RV? Like, how broke is they? Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm living on a bus? What is going on here? Am I a hobo? Like, what is going on? So I was like, okay, but I was down for the cause because it's just like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, you know, I'm vying for a new job, so let's just see what happens. This is really exciting for me. Like, top 20 out of over 600 contestants, I'm feeling good, okay? Out of all of the contestants, I was the only black girl, okay? There was not another black girl in sight. There wasn't even a biracial girl, I don't think. And if there was, girl, sorry, I forgot who you is. But there wasn't even that. And so I was the only black girl. And so I felt like they just doing the show for me, okay? That's how I felt. I was just like, oh my god, this is my show. Like, they're just doing the show so that they go, because they gonna hire me. They need a black girl. I'm a shoo-in. Let's do this, okay? I can't. So that's how I was feeling. You know, I was feeling myself. I really was. I prepared to leave my man. Okay, I had to leave my little shooty patootie behind. I packed so much stuff because I needed to have outfits upon outfits upon outfits. If I was going to be on camera, I was going to be popping, okay? I packed my makeup, and of course, if you didn't watch the stolen lipstick story time, this has to do with this right here, okay? Or that has to do with this right here. So I packed my makeup and I was ready to fly out. And so they were like, you are gonna fly from Toronto to Vancouver. Vancouver's all the way on the other side of Canada. So you're gonna fly to Vancouver and we're going to ride the bus back into Toronto. So at this point, we're under the impression that we're living on the bus, okay? That's what I thought. It was like a super RV with beds and stuff inside. It was not, okay? It was definitely not that. I don't know if people actually think that we were actually living on the bus, but that was the illusion that we were given to, or that they wanted Canada to think, that we were living on this bus, but that wasn't the case. We flew to Vancouver. We meet all the contestants. Off bat, there's a little bit of shade, but everybody's pretty much vibing at this point. It's not like too much shade, but it was a little bit of shade, okay? In the first like 2 weeks, you already knew who you liked and who you didn't like. So we get to Vancouver and did we have a dinner? I think we had a dinner and everything, and they just went over everything with us and explained to us how it's going to work. And so we actually signed contracts and stuff. So I could be breaching something right now, child. I don't know how long the contract lasts for, child. I don't know. But we all had signed contracts. We signed these contracts, but like none of us had lawyers present. Like it was a sham, okay? So yeah, so whatever. We signed contracts, we vibe, and we're talking to the producers. We're getting to know each other, and we're just hanging out, and we're in Vancouver, and we're having a great time. They let us know that every day we'll be getting something called per diem, which I think every single reality show has per diem, especially if you're living somewhere, or if you're living away from home, they give you per diem. And per diem is basically the money they give you every single day so that you are able to feed yourself. It's just like an allowance, and it was $50 a day. So we were out there, we were getting paid $50 a day. That was basically our payment for being on the show, okay? $50 a day, as long as you were not eliminated. So that was the first thing. We had no idea that we were going to be getting paid a little bit of shmoney, but we got paid a little bit of shmoney. $50 a day adds up, okay? Some people don't even make that at their minimum wage jobs, getting 3 hours a week at garage, okay? So $50 a day was your popping. Yeah, so we got per diem. That's the first thing. The show wasn't airing live, but the episodes were being taped like 1 day or 2 days in advance. So the editors had to work like this around the clock. I don't think them motherfuckers was sleeping, okay? So basically what they would do was tape us, and then they would send the tapes back to like Toronto. They would mail the tapes to Toronto, and the editors would edit the show and air the show for the next day. The first time I realized that reality TV is not what it seems was, I believe, in Banff, when we were in a park, or we were like outside of the hotel we were staying at. That's the thing, we were staying in bomb ass hotels, okay? Because the producers must have it in their contract that they don't stay at nothing that's less than a 4-star, 5-star hotel, like they's Drake or something. And so I was happy, honey. The hotels we were staying at were shut popping AF, okay? Except for in Saskatchewan. I'm not even gonna talk about Saskatchewan hotel, because honestly, like, Saskatchewan was a hot mess. I'm so sorry if you're from Saskatchewan, but like, it was a hot mess. There was literally crackheads in the damn kitchen of the hotel, you know, like it was a soup kitchen for real. And I was just like, I can't with this hotel. It was ratchet, but whatever, that's neither here nor there, okay? So anyway, like I said, the first time I realized reality TV is not real was when we were in Banff and they filmed us, and we were standing in a group. They're like, go stand with people that you vibe with, like go stand with people that you actually talk to. So we were all standing in like these little crowds, these little sectioned off groups, like of 3s and 4s and 5s. When it came to my group, I believe I was standing with Kevin and Myra. Did Myra make it to... I don't think Myra made it to Banff. I was standing with Kevin and somebody else, or maybe it was just Kevin, and we were told to have a conversation, and so we thought we were just gonna talk about regular schmegular stuff. No. They were like, okay, this is your starter, and they basically told us how to start off our conversation and to only talk about that. And so we were like, this is not reality. And they only filmed what they needed. They did not film us outside of the challenges or heading to the challenges. They barely filmed us. Like, they didn't film us in the hotels at all, because like I said, we were supposed to give off the image that we're living on this bus. But when they did film on the bus, there wasn't no beds on the bus, so it's obvious that we weren't staying in the bus. We were just traveling in the bus. After a challenge and somebody went home, we would go to our hotels, and then early morning we would leave on the bus and drive to the next city. And the drives were really long, so it was like every other day was when we were filming. We did not film every day. Yeah, so that was when we were in Banff was the first time I realized that reality TV is not reality TV. They didn't tell us exactly what to say, but they told us what to talk about. And so if you're ever watching a reality show and you notice that the conversation is just random, or like, here's an example of when lovely Mimi brought up the fact that she hadn't seen Dime since Jocelyn's video shoot. The producers told her to say that so that it would start drama or start problems, okay? After every single challenge that we did, there was also confessionals. They would take everybody individually and do a confessional. And I think in Banff is when I got fed up with the people that I didn't like, and they were pissing me off and trying me. And that was the first time I let loose. Honestly, if I never let loose in that confessional, they would have eliminated my ass real quick, okay? Because I wasn't doing good in the challenges. I was messing up my challenges. Like, I was not doing well in the challenges. And I was getting frustrated with myself because I'm just like, what the hell? And so one day in Banff, Ryan and Junior were really pissing me off. Like, everybody was pissing me off because everybody was being super fake, right? And I went into my confessional, and usually in the confessional, the producer's sitting at the other side of the camera, and the producer's asking you questions and you're answering them, and you have to start it off with what they asked you. So say they asked you, like, what's your favorite color? You would have to be like, my favorite color is pink, and then blah blah blah, okay? And if you don't start it off properly, then you have to retake and retake and retake, and it was tiring. So you have to be like one take Drake, okay? So I was frustrated with them, and so I went in confessional and I ripped everybody a new a-hole, okay? I just was not having it. And from that episode, or from that confessional, is when they started to turn my black ass into the villain, okay? And this was bad for me because, like, I'm already black, okay? Don't need no more, you know, stereotypes coming this way. And I had a long weave, and my face was beat, and I was dressed to kill, okay? And so, like, it was an issue that they were going to paint me as a villain, and I had no idea that that's what was gonna happen. I was just going and speaking my truth because I think it was the day before that they had actually told us, like, we don't have to just, you know, we can say anything we want in confessional. I didn't know that before. So when they were talking to me in confessional before, I was just answering their questions. I wasn't saying anything extra because, you know, if you want camera time or something like that, then you have to be extra. And I wasn't being extra for camera time. I was just telling the motherfuckers how I was feeling because motherfuckers was trying me in Banff. And so I was real cheesed. Okay, so anyway, I filmed that confessional, and from that confessional, the lipstick thing had already happened. So in that confessional, I talked about my lipstick, I talked about who I didn't like, I talked about a whole bunch of things, and that confessional, you see it throughout the whole damn season, child, until my ass got eliminated. You just see that confessional. They literally took what I said in that confessional and edited it to stretch it out for drama on the show. So me, I was a drama starter on the show. They really played into this whole beef that I had with the lipstick and my makeup box and all of that. So in one of the scenes, they actually tricked me into filming. They told me, and I believe Kevin, that I was going to be filming for a Garnier commercial because Garnier was one of the sponsors for the show. And so we had free Garnier products out the hoo-ha, bitch. Like, we had so many Garnier products. My hair was okay. I had all this argan oil and all this free stuff, hairspray, anything you needed, Garnier got you, okay? Hair dye was not on the menu, but you know, we didn't need any hair dye. Matter of fact, that's the reason I got eliminated. But anyway, yeah, they tricked me into filming this scene. They told me we're filming a special segment for Garnier. And so they said, bring your makeup box, you come into your hotel bathroom, and you know, talk to yourself in the mirror about this, that, and the third. Reach into your makeup box, do this, do that. So they're directing me and telling me exactly what to do for this scene. And I'm thinking I'm doing a Garnier commercial, girl. I thought I was going to be on TV on a commercial for Garnier. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an it girl. Now, bitch, what they did was they took that same footage and edited the show so that when they decided to make the lipstick thing happen, they could use that as the day that my lipstick went missing. What? That's not what happened. Like, you didn't tell me that. They told me that it was for a commercial, not that it was for the episode. I was actually really pissed when I saw it on TV. I was like, really? Really? That is not what they told me I was filming for. So, yeah, the producers lie to you. They manipulate. And they definitely had favorites. I was a favorite, yeah, I was. Even though I was a little badass, I was a favorite. Can't tell me nothing, okay? I remember one of the producers telling me, like, the me that they see during the challenges and stuff, they really fucking with, but when there was another producer that was actually doing confessionals, and he was like, we have to keep her because blah 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 blah. Because I was bringing the tea and the drama for the show. Didn't nobody want to watch this show, okay? Yeah, so that's why they were keeping me around. That's a lot like if you're watching The Bachelorette right now, it's a lot like the situation with Lee and Kenny. That whole thing is scripted. You think that The Bachelorette wouldn't have got rid of Lee already? I'm not even gonna talk about that. I feel like I need to do a whole separate video about my feelings about The Bachelorette right now because I am not having it. But the producers are definitely in control in that situation of who stays and who goes. The producers have the final say on The Bachelorette because it's obvious when she's giving out her roses. You know who she likes already. Homegirl likes Dean. Homegirl likes Brian. Homegirl likes what's that other guy's name? I really like him too. Peter. She likes them three, okay? So I don't know why we're even playing these games with her, but that's neither here nor there. This is not about Bachelorette. This is about me. So anyway, that was the second thing that had me realize that the show was fugazi. So then we get to Calgary, okay? And we are put in an acting challenge. I don't act, honey. This is the real me. I don't do acting. Okay, I'm not a good actress. I suck at acting. And they put us in an improv challenge. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought first of all, I'm thinking this VJ job is just stand up on stage, introduce the music videos, introduce the show, talk to celebrities, interview them, whatever. Like, that I could do. I could work on that. But improv? No, boo. No. Don't ask me to be nothing that I am not, okay? Or something that I am not. I am sorry. So they put us in an improv challenge, and me and Kevin were actually in the same challenge, on the same team for this particular challenge. And me and Kevin talk about this all the time because it's so funny. When it came to elimination, the weakest team had to go up on it and be, you know, somebody from the weakest team would be eliminated. I think that's how it went. And so we were being graded on our challenge. Me and Kevin are standing beside each other, and out of nowhere, Lauren Toyota calls me and Kevin out, Bo, Kevy, and I don't remember what she said, but let me tell you, I was pissed. I wanted to drag her. I was so angry because they had already started making me to be the villain, and now they're making me look bad, period, okay? So she had called us out, and I was fuming inside. Like, I was like, out of everybody in this group, why are you calling us out? I don't know, what did she say? She said something. Let me call Kevin. Please answer. Oh my gosh, Kevin, please. Hello? Listen. Did you listen to my voicemail?
Girl, you did not call me to talk about Lauren Toyota when you have a baby on the way.
I'm dead.
What?
What did she say to us? She's like, Bo, Kevy. I can't remember what she said.
Bo, Kevy, if you didn't have immunity or something, like if you didn't win this challenge, if your group didn't...
Oh, yeah.
would be
eliminated. Yes, bitch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so...
You were the damn show, okay? And you were gonna send us home?
I'm dead. Oh my god.
We were so pissed. Remember, we were so shook.
Yes, we were shook, and then we went to the bar. We went to the bus, and we could not stop laughing. I can't even deal. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, y'all, like dead. And then we went to Carrie's hotel room. Remember?
Carrie's hotel. What did we go do? What did we do?
Remember we went into his hotel room saying like, this ain't right, like what the fuck, like Romeo like laid it down on us, like.
Who's that?
The Filipino producer guy.
Wait.
Remember?
Oh yeah, he was rude to us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember his name. These niggas are irrelevant, okay?
He's irrelevant. We were so shook.
Yeah. We did. Oh yeah, because he came on the bus after and cussed us too, right?
Yeah, I guess because we were laughing too much.
Yeah. yeah.
We just didn't give a fuck.
He was like, this is serious. Okay.
Okay,
like, who was talking to you? Oh my god, this is making me die. So Lauren had actually said to us, if it wasn't for our team, me and Kevin would definitely be going home that day. And we were like, what? Like, why are you calling us out? So then we go on the bus and we're cracking up laughing.
We won the damn challenge. It was a group challenge.
Oh, we won that challenge?
Yeah, we won the challenge too.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, so we had immunity. They were so pissed. Oh my gosh, yeah. So they basically saying our group carried us, but like realistically, we was the show. Like, you wasn't about to get rid of us. So yeah, so another producer came on the bus and he was being real mad, real rude to us. He was disrespectful, and so we were pissed at that point too, because we're just like, get off of the bus. Like, it was just me and Kevy on the bus, and he pissed us off, and we're like, okay, bye, like, see you never. I actually ended up going to one of the other producers' hotel rooms and just talking to him about it and complaining to him about it, because we're just like, why is he being disrespectful? Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, who cares? Like, why are you mad? Like, it didn't make any sense. So, and it wasn't even like a tough love thing. He was just being a real douche. So anyway, after Calgary, we drove to Saskatchewan. And Saskatchewan, like I said, was a hot mess. The hotel, if it was a 5-star, honey, no, I don't know there wasn't even a 1-star hotel. Okay, that hotel was not okay. I don't know what happened in that hotel, but I remember it was ratchet, and Saskatchewan was cold. It was so cold. I was like, I'll never come back here. It's freezing, and like outside is hella ratchet, like a tumbleweed be blowing by in the wind and stuff. Like, it was like, no, can't be here, okay? And so we did a challenge in Saskatchewan. We leave Saskatchewan. And at this point is probably on the 2nd episode of the lipstick saga, okay? And so, like, I'm still the villain. Now that I'm the villain, they just were doing the most to make me the villain. But then somebody else's claws started to come out, thank the Lord. After the whole lipstick situation popped off, once we got to Calgary, I actually like, in my mind, the lipstick situation had been squashed because I purchased a new one, so I was over it. Okay, I had a new lipstick and it was all good in the hood. I wasn't even mad. I wasn't thinking about homegirl anymore. I didn't have an attitude with her anymore. I didn't like her, but like, I didn't have an attitude anymore. But because the episodes are airing, it's causing problems. So we move on from Saskatchewan. We do another challenge, or we drive on the RV. We do another challenge now in, was that Manitoba? I think Manitoba. Girl, I don't know geography right now, okay? I'm just off the top of my head. My roommate actually ends up getting eliminated. And what I noticed was that a lot of the times, like, if they were in a certain person's city, they would just eliminate them, which was Fugazi. Well, it was, everybody was doing pretty much horribly on the challenges, okay? So it all really came down to what city they were in. It was cheaper for them to let go of certain people while we got back into their city rather than sending them on a flight back home. And so when we were in Saskatchewan, the person that lived in Saskatchewan ended up being eliminated in Saskatchewan. Yeah, and so when we got to Manitoba, we did another challenge. And this challenge, Kevin and I were paired together for this challenge, and honestly, it was like the easiest challenge ever. They basically gave us like it on a silver platter, okay? It was so easy. All we had to do was, we were gonna be on a morning show, and we just had to read the birthday. We were just doing the birthday shout out, and we were like, oh my god, this is so easy. Like, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna be bomb at this challenge. We did okay with that challenge. I ain't gonna lie, we wasn't in the bottom that week, tell you that, or that day. But yeah, like, that was probably one of the best challenges we had. It was super easy. We were reading off a teleprompter, and like, I could do that all day. Like, teleprompter reading is easy. And then it was on to Ontario, and the first stop was in Ottawa. Once we got to Ottawa, they had a challenge, and 2 of the contestants were from Ottawa. So this was another scripted thing where it was like, both of the people from Ottawa are going to be the team captain, and obviously whichever team loses, that team member goes home. But we was already in Ottawa. Like, they weren't going to pay for that person, or they were going to pay for both of them to come back from Toronto once we got to Toronto. When we were in Ottawa, they had Ryan and Junior be the team captains. And at this point, all of the beef had died down. Like, there was no more beef between myself, Ryan, or Junior. Like, we all squashed it. We all got along at this point. Everybody loved each other at this point. Like, we grew really close. That's the stuff they didn't really air either. Like I said, they weren't filming the entire days with us. They were just filming what they needed. And so a lot of people from their cities were bullying me on the internet, on Twitter, because they didn't know that we were cool now, like we were close. And so their friends from Ottawa or wherever were on Twitter dragging me for filth. And I was like, I don't know you, so we're not gonna do this. Yeah, so once we got to Ottawa, one of the people from Ottawa got eliminated. From Ottawa, we drove to Toronto. And so Toronto is actually where they were introducing the top 10. We get ready for our day, and we're doing little interviews. And then after that, we were at the Hilton, I believe. Was it the Hilton or the Trump? I don't remember. We were at one of them hotels. I think it was the Hilton. We were waiting for the bus to take us to Much Music so that we could go and be on stage and be introduced back to Toronto. We go on stage and we're blindfolded, and we have no idea what's going on. We were blindfolded from the time we were like on the bus. They escort us off the bus. We walk into Much Music. We hear lots of cheering and stuff, and we're on the stage now. We're still blindfolded. And at this point, we're all standing on stage waiting to know our fate, to see if we made it into top 10 or not. The night that we got back to Toronto, Myron had come to the hotel to visit us, but since all of the beef was squashed, and I didn't have a problem with anybody, and I wasn't talking about anybody in my confessionals anymore, and they were talking about me, and the villain role actually got lifted from me at this point. Like, they turned it around so good, and I was so happy and relieved because I was getting so much hate. I was just like, why am I getting all this hate? Like, I'm just keeping it a buck. Like, that's been my problem my whole entire life. I be keeping it a buck, and people can't handle it. Like, they just can't handle it. And so that is what people are always upset with me for. I keep it too real. And so because of this, they flipped it and they gave the villain role to another guy, to this guy that to the day we probably would duke it out in the streets. Like, he was just so horrible. And so he was so rude and so nasty. Like, I could not deal with him. I thought all my beef was squashed, honey, but these people were still in their confessionals talking about me. And they were in the challenges trying to throw me under the bus when it came to who do you think should go home or who do you think should be eliminated, after I done had heart-to-hearts with these people. And we're standing outside in the rain and shit, and they're trying to say, Bo, and then looking back at me and apologize. I said, wait, what are you talking about? Why am I getting eliminated? Like, I haven't brought up the lipstick situation. I haven't started no drama. The only person I had drama with was the girl that stole my lipstick. And, you know, I don't understand why my name is in your mouth. Like, do it based off the challenges. I did good in the last couple of challenges. Why are you guys saying that I should leave? Why y'all picking on me? The joke was, when it was my turn to answer, who do you think should go home, or who, the girl that stole my lipstick was expecting me to say her name because she said my name, but I'm not petty like that. I'm not an idiot, okay? I'm not going based off of personal things. Like, that's not who I'm trying to eliminate. I'm trying to eliminate the beast of the competition. Like, you know what I mean? And so when I didn't say her name, she looked over at me. Yes, you're not important, you're not relevant. Like, why am I gonna call your name just because you called mine? Like, no, you're not on my radar. So she was shocked by that. The girl that won, she had said my name, and I was ready to drop kick her, okay? Because I was just like, why are you saying my name? Like, we don't have no problems. I'm not sure why you are even mentioning my name. Like, eliminate somebody that's doing super bomb the challenges, not me. But like, they weren't gonna send me home anyway, so it was whatever. You can say my name all you want, but like, it just was not about to happen. So anyway, that was before Toronto. So we're in Toronto now, and the night that we were in Toronto, we were just hanging out in the hotel, and an episode had aired, I believe, that day, and I seen one of the other girls, this blonde chick, was talking smack heavily about me in her confessional, and I was just like, whoa, like, where's this even coming from? I didn't even know she had a problem with me. Like, why are you yapping your gums? Like, I've never even mentioned her name in my confessional before. That's why I was shocked. I'm like, I'm not worried about you. Like, what's going on here? So I'm pissed, okay? And I was pretty much hot-headed. So when I seen the episode, I was just livid. I wanted to beat her up, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to smack the shit out of her. I still needed to keep myself together because I wasn't trying to get no charges, okay? What I did was sent Myron to her hotel room door so that she would open the door, because she didn't want to open it, you know. I knew she wouldn't open it for me. If she looked at the people, she wasn't gonna open it for me. So what I did was I sent Myron to open the door. So when Myron goes and he knocks on the door, and she's like, who is it? And he's like, it's me, Myron. And as soon as that door, as soon as I seen the lighting change, because she opened the door, bitch, I was in her room. Like, you're not about to play with me and my good name. So I actually, see, this is stuff they didn't catch on camera that they should have been catching on camera, because I went into this homegirl's hotel room. I was just like, look, I don't know you, you don't know me, and you don't want these hands. So just keep my name out your mouth, because I'm not talking your name, and there's no reason for you to be talking mine in your little confessionals. And she's not saying nothing, eh? She's just there silent. She doesn't want this problem. So in the words of Lee, I was being aggressive, okay? But I really wasn't. I don't remember if I closed her laptop or if she closed her laptop, but either way, the laptop got shut with the quickness, because I needed her to hear me out, okay? And so she basically concurred. She agreed to not speak my name ever again, and I don't think she did after that, because you're just not about to do that. Like, you don't have any reason to be, if now you have a reason to speak my name, go and run and tell that I burst into your room and almost knocked the shit out of you for talking my name when you didn't need to be. Like, go talk about that in your damn confessional. You know, it was a classy check, okay? It was a professional check, because I was trying to get this check. So I checked her, I left her room, and I went back to my room, and we hung out for the rest of the night, and we were cool. So then the day of the top 10 reveal, I made it into top 10, and it was all good in the hood, okay? This is where shit went left for me. This is why I got eliminated. I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows this. But what happened was they sabotaged me, okay? So basically, I had a 24 or 26, I think 26 inch weave in, and the hair was beautiful, and they knew it was a weave. They knew I didn't paid my coins for this weave, okay? They knew I paid to get it installed. They knew all of that, okay? And they knew I don't play about my hair. You guys, this is how haywire or how BS the show was, because they knew that, okay? And so there was a scene where we were sent to H&M to personally shop or have a stylist pick stuff out for us that we got to keep, because we were getting our top 10 makeovers. They gave me cute little jacket. I still got the jacket. It was a $300 jacket they gave me. I said, yes, God. Jacket's fire. It's like my leather jacket that I wear. They gave me like a dress and a skirt, and that was the outfit they picked out for me. And then the next step would be, I guess, hair and makeup. Had me meet with this Caucasian lady about my weave, honey. I said, what are you guys gonna do to me? Like, just give me some curls or something, you know? And the Caucasian lady that worked for Garnier Canada was all up in my tracks, and they couldn't cut the weave out because they damn sure wouldn't have known what to do with what was underneath the weave and the net, but they were like, we're gonna cut it. And I was just like, I specifically told you guys no to cutting my 26-inch Indian virgin hair, my bonzos. Like, who cuts 26-inch hair? You just buy 12 or 14. You don't cut 26 inches down to mother effing 14. So at this point I'm pissed because they're like, their whole thing is they need somebody that they can control and be a robot, and you'll just do what they say when they say, and that'll be the end of that. If you want to change your hair, if you want to change your look, if you want to change your style, you have to confront them first if you are hired as a VJ. So they say. I wasn't hired as a VJ, so I was not about to say, yeah, go ahead, cut my 26-inch hair. So I was trying to be a good sport about it. But they were saying, the girl that worked for Garnier literally verbatim said to me, don't worry, you'll still be able to diet and do whatever you want to it. So I took that, this is the sabotage moment. So I took that as, okay, tonight, then I'll add my own little twist to it, you know? I'll dye the tips green because, like, you know, I need to feel like me. Like, I'm used to wearing my hair long. What am I doing with a 14-inch weave? This is not 2006. Like, no. So I wasn't even wearing weave in 2006. But like, I just wasn't down for the cause, especially because I had paid so much money for my weave to begin with. It was just a disrespectful thing for them to do. So I'm livid that they cut my weave, and I'm complaining about it, and this was why I got eliminated. That same night that they cut my weave, I went and I dyed the tips green. And I remember the next day was the elimination day, and I remember one of the producers saying, oh, your hair, you changed it or whatever. And I was like, yeah, the Garnier girl told me I was allowed to do whatever I wanted to do to it. I don't know why she told me that, because it was a lie. It wasn't allowed to do was not allowed to do anything to the hair. I was just supposed to leave it how they left it. But like, you can't just cut a weave. It's not your hair. Like, it's not like cutting a Caucasian person's hair. That's where they had me effed up, because it's not the same as just giving somebody a haircut. I don't know what salon she works out of, but it was not the same. And like, at least give me a black hairdresser that knows what she's doing, and don't try to give me some Condoleezza Rice ass haircut. Like, so like I said, I put the green in, and little did I know this was not allowed. So the day of elimination, drama popped off again, but whatever, that's not even important. The producers actually left a paper in the green room that had my name on it and another guy's name on it, the same one, the villain guy. They purposely left it in there to shake us, because they wanted us to see it was between us two that were going home that day. Imagine seeing this before elimination. Like, you just, even if you don't want the job anymore, because at this point I didn't want to be a VJ. After I seen what they did on reality TV, even though they turned it around and made me not the villain, when I was living in that, I was pissed, and I was like, I don't want this. Like, why would I want this? These are not nice people. They're making me out to be something I'm not. They're making me to be the bad guy. They're having people online bullying me. Like, you know what I mean? So at this point, I didn't want the job anymore. But like, at the same time, you just don't want to get eliminated, because it's embarrassing. Who wants to be eliminated? You know, I want to see if I made it to the end, because I would have had a plot twist on that ass real quick. When they told me that I won, I've been like, I don't want the job. But so yeah, so we see this paper in the room now, and me and Kevin are like, what the hell, like, what's going on? And so I'm like, okay, well, my fate might be sealed today. That was the day that I got eliminated, so I was the first person out of top 10 to go home. But it was just, to me, it was like a crazy experience. Like, I got to experience this. It was cool. It had its ups, it had its downs, but it was just something to do, you know. It was pretty, it gave me a lot of insight in how reality TV actually works, because anytime we were on camera, or anytime that they wanted to film us, they gave us our starter. They told us what to talk about, and we weren't allowed to really stray from that conversation. We had to keep it in that. We couldn't just start talking about what we had for lunch that day or anything of the sort. And if you notice, you never really saw us on the show. You didn't see us eating ever. You didn't see us doing leisure things. Like the only real thing about the show was if you were in confessional and you were spilling your true feelings and emotions, you know, into the show. And one of the contestants that actually got eliminated before, we actually saw the person that came back onto the show, because they had one of those get eliminated come back. We knew he was the person that was going to come back onto the show ahead of time, because the day that he got eliminated, they gave him another contract to sign to come back at the last minute to be in like top 3, or I think he was in top 3. A lot of aspects of the show were not true when it came to who got sent home when. All that shit was predetermined, unless you did really, really poorly on a challenge. Like, seriously, you would have to do really, really poorly on a challenge, or, you know, be late to something. If you were late, you got eliminated, because that was like the #1 rule. Do not be late, because it's show business. Like, if you're late, everybody's late. You can't be the host and be late, especially if you're hosting a live show. If it's 6 o'clock and you not there, who finna go on? Like, so they were trying to instill punctuality into us. So if you were late, you got kicked off. They would make it so that there was a reason that you got kicked off. They wouldn't just say you were late today, so you're getting eliminated. It would be during the challenge. If you didn't do so well, they would be like, that person's who's going home. But it was predetermined because their ass was late, okay? And so that was that was basically how it worked. Like, and so now when I'm watching my reality shows, I'm like, oh my god, this is so scripted. Or just the scenarios that happen on reality shows, you can tell, unless you're like, you need a dunce cap, you can tell what's scripted and what's not, just because of how people react to certain things. Like the whole Kirk situation on Love and Hip Hop, the fact that the cameras were rolling at Rashida's shop when Logan showed up to tell Rashida that he might be the father. And it just so happens that, you know, like when something is too good to be true, or like it's just so happening that something is happening or just so happens that this person was there and was able to witness this go down and run back and tell their friends, something like that, that's how you know it's scripted. And so overall, I didn't hate the experience, but it was a learning experience. I didn't love it either. I made a lot of dope ass friends from being on the show, and I still mess with I still mess with quite a few people that were on the show with me, and like they know who they are. It was just a learning experience, and I can't say I would never do it again, because I auditioned for Bad Girls Club long time ago, and Bad Girls Club actually contacted me, but the thing is that I'm Canadian. I don't have an American address, and so, but that was a while ago. And so they made me do all of the stuff only to tell me that I am not an American citizen, so I can't, you know, I can't do the thing. But it didn't really make sense to me, because if you are a Canadian citizen, you can go to America for 6 months at a time, and I think you only film for 3. So I wasn't really sure what the whole thing was with that, but that's neither here nor there. And then the Kim Kardashian is supposedly coming out with a reality show for like beauty influencers to run her app, I believe. And last year when I first heard of it, I did like submit, and they were like, okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna put you in, but like I'm not into reality TV right now. Like, this is my reality TV. After my first experience with it, I feel like I've learned enough to where I know how to. I think when you do it for the first time, you frig up, because you're not aware of how things are edited or how you're going to appear. But like, you really don't know who you know what I would do? Big Brother, okay? That's what I would do. Yeah, like you really don't know who the villain is until the show airs. Just like Gary done told Netta, honey, said, oh baby, you don't know who the villain is until they air the show. It's true. Like, you really don't. So that's basically my experience with it. And if you want to go on a reality show, I say go for it, but just be careful with what you say, when you say, and who you say it to, because them producers are very tricky, and you have to be able to sense when you're in a situation. Like the whole situation that they told me that I was filming for something else when I wasn't. Like, you have to read people and see what their intentions are, because nobody wants to be the villain. Like, nobody. When I got the villain role removed and got the Angel Halo role after, and the guy got the villain role, he was not happy about that either. Like, everybody was smooth sailing. Nobody thought that they could be the villain, but they turned that around real quick, because if the producers don't really like you, you will be the villain. And so there was producers that really liked me, and there was producers that didn't really care about me. And so once the producers that like you either convince the producers that don't like you, or the producers that don't like you start to see what the producers that do like you see, that's when you will no longer be the villain. That's when they'll give you your second chance at life. And that's basically what happened with me. Because even after I did the show, one of the producers from the show kept in contact with me. I still have him on Instagram and everything. Like, he kept contact with me, and he was reaching out to me early on in my YouTube career because Much wanted to sign me, but I'm so glad that I did not sign with them. I'm not signed to any network, and if these damn networks don't stop messaging me every damn day, I'm going to have a hairy fit, okay? I don't want to join your stank ass network because you're not taking my coin. Like, who's really giving 30% of my monthly income? Like, are you crazy? So yeah, like, I'm just not here for it. I'm sure when you sign to a network, you get lots of more opportunities, and your subscriber count grows, and you get a larger fan base and all this, but like, I'm content with my 260 plus. I don't even know how many I have, child. I don't know, but I'm content with my over 200k subscribers. Of course, I always want it to grow, but like, I'm not gonna go to the extreme to grow it. So it is what it is. So if you've ever been on reality TV, whether locally or international reality TV, let me know in the description box, in the comment section below. I'd love to read about your experience, and tell me in the comment section as well who your favorite bachelorette contestant is right now. I love you all, and I will definitely see you in the next one.